Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And before we get into it, I got to be transparent. I've been going through this illness that's starting to develop, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. And that is Four Nations fever. I am absolutely jacked up for the Four Nations face-off. And ESPN decided to make a little bit of a controversial list, ranking every single player in the Four Nations face-off. I saw like the title of the graphic from All Hockey Culture on Instagram, and I quickly like looked away, scrolled away because I was like, this is an awesome kind of thing to react to. Go follow All Hockey Culture over on Instagram. But yeah, we're gonna react to this because ESPN usually makes very interesting lists to react to that you guys seem to like. So ranking all of the players in the Four Nations face-off. There's four different teams. There's got to be like what 90-ish guys total on this. Jesus. Probably a lot of Finns at the bottom just because they don't have a ton of depth. Not to trash on Finland. 92 players, but 91 now that Alex Pietrangelo is not there. And this is by the ESPN staff. This isn't just one person that we're maybe picking on. This is all of the ESPN journalists coming together to make this. Let's see if we agree. Vankanainen in dead last, the New York Rangers representative. Sam Urson. Yeah, I thought they should have went Arvid Soderblom over Urson, but he's more experienced, so it makes some sense. Yuki Haru, Luosterainen, Armia Montembeau, 86, Binnington, 85. I guess that does make some sense. Raquel should be higher. Is this tournament that loaded that Raquel, who's putting up like 35 and 35 pace, is really the 83rd best player in this? Okay, what? Juuso Valimaki and Eric Halla are ahead of Rickard Raquel. That's insane. That's wild. I understand Montembeau and Binnington have been playing that good of late. What? Mikola's a good, like Capo Caco. Oh, playing great in Seattle. I guess I can't really trash on him. He's not a Ranger anymore. But yeah, Raquel, I guess maybe he was a late ad. I don't know how that would not factor in. Maybe they already had this finalized and then they saw Raquel got added. They're like, we'll just throw him somewhere else. We don't want to edit all this. Oli, again, 75th Oli Mata. Joel Eriksson all the way down at 74th. Gustav Nyquist ahead of Joel Eriksson. What? Literally what? Chris Kreider should be higher up the way he's playing, or like higher in the higher 70s, 80s, considering how he's been playing of late. Elias, again, dude, like Elias Lindholm is cheeks, bro. Elias Lindholm should legitimately be like 78 or something like that. My God. Parayko, okay, he's a good defenseman. Olmark at 67, man. I mean, he hasn't played a lot this season, but when he has, he's been damn good. I think he still has like a 914 on top of winning a Vezina 2 years ago. Like, what are we doing? Ristolainen's actually kind of underrated right now. I'm not going to trash that. Definitely some guys. Ottinger, that low. Again, weird. My boy Leo Carlson getting some respect. They moved down Zibanejad at least. I would still have some of these guys ahead of me because of Zibanejad, but it's good to see that they're not going off like prior years and actually did move down as Zibanejad. Brock Nelson, I can't argue with that. He hasn't been playing that good this year relative to what we've seen in years past. Arturi Lekkonen's a very underrated guy, but that placement's about fair. Ekholm probably should be higher. He's underrated as hell. Noah Hannafin, 52nd. If you remember, when they did a list where it was like they ranked every single player in the playoffs at the start of last year's playoffs, they had like Noah Hannafin 27th or something ridiculous like that. It was absolutely nuts. So it's good to see that their staff has adjusted their opinion a little bit on Noah Hannafin and no longer think that he's like a top 10 defenseman in the NHL. Granlund, Erik Karlsson. Okay, it's starting to get into very good players. Still don't love some of these placements. I can't really disagree with a lot of this. Forsling's better than Devon Toews at this point. I'm not a bitter Islanders fan. I love Devon Toews. Charlie McAvoy. Damn, they moved him down. I was not expecting that. I personally had McAvoy at like 45 in my updated top 50 players in the NHL. Just has not really developed offensively like we thought. I mean, he's obviously good defensively, but still not a... He's number one, but you expected a little bit more offensively this season. Philip Gustafsson, Saros Pedersen, they moved down to... Ooh, Dahlin, 35th. Brock Faber ahead of Dahlin. What are we doing? Dude, what? I don't even think you can make the argument that Brock Faber's better than Dahlin defensively. Oh, no. That's our first, like... And nothing against Brock Faber. He should be somewhere in, like, the 40s, 50s. I'm not saying he's, like, 75th. But Jesus. Morrissey, Theodore. Like, how's Theodore ahead of Dahlin? the North American bias. Rupe Hintz, the production just hasn't been there the last 2 years to justify that. Underlying numbers, when you watch him, he's a special player, but he needs to produce more. Lucas Raymond getting some respect. He'll probably be, most likely be in my top, almost made my top 50 midseason. He'll, by the end of the season, will be top 50. Wait, preseason rank. What did they have Dahlin preseason? 30s. Dahlin's having, like, arguably the best season of his entire career, and he's only moved up 2 spots. This is like their preseason top 100 players in the NHL. Kempe getting respect. I like to see that. JT, they moved Pedersen down a decent amount, but not JT Miller that much. Adam Fox, I think obviously should be higher. Definitely ahead of Philip Forsberg. Bratt getting respect. I like to see that. That's solid. You love to see that. Kyle Connor, top 20. I can get behind that a decent amount. William Nylander. Brady Tkachuk is always extremely high. I don't like, he's a great power forward, but just everybody assumes that he's going to be this playoff monster, and maybe he will be like his brother, but his brother had 100-point seasons before that, before his playoff breakout. Braden Point. Ooh, Sam Reinhart, I love. I would not have him ahead of Braden Point. Actually, that's not crazy, though. Victor Hedman, a little bit too high, but I think based on the way he's playing this year, it's kind of justified. Prior years, maybe not so much. 13, Mikko Rantanen. Fine with that. People are going to overreact to how he's been in Carolina, but he's still a stud. Jack Eichel. I'm trying to think who's going to be within this top 10. Jack Hughes. Mitch Marner, number 9. Great in the regular season. He's been a top 10 player solely this regular season. I would rather have in a game Jack Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, Jack Eichel, Mikko Rantanen ahead of him. Crosby, number 8 still, I think is just kind of name bias. He's still top 20 in the NHL for me. And I understand that he plays on a less than ideal Pittsburgh Penguins team. Defensively, he's fallen off in recent years. 7, Barkov. 6, Quinn Hughes. This is going to be pretty standard. McKinnon, 4. So that means McDavid, Makar. Who's the other person? Oh, Connor Hellebuck. I forgot. Besides, I don't combine goalies and skaters. I was like, oh my god, like I was like, Matthews is already accounted for. Like I was running through the simulations. Connor Hellebuck, Cale Makar. I think McKinnon is better than Cale Makar. I love Cale Makar. Don't get me wrong, he's a beast. But yeah, okay. The top 25 actually wasn't as bad as I expected. I expected much worse. There's some massive head scratchers. Dahlin 37 and Brock Faber 1 spot below. But for ESPN, who usually gets some rage bait going, I can't hate on this that much. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was going to be much worse. Like, I know it's like a backhanded compliment. If you work at ESPN and you're watching this, I think you guys usually do good work. But, yeah, I'm trying to think. Again, 35, Rasmus Dahlin, he needs to be at least top 25. Yeah, because he was like 19th on my top 50 players, which accounts for every nation in that. Yeah, Olmark was way too low. I'm trying to think. Why was Aiden Hill? Aiden Hill is doing better than, is having a very good season, but how is he so far ahead of guys like Olmark? I don't get that. Slavin, 48. Yeah, okay. It was interesting. They definitely have a different. I might have to do. Maybe I'll just do one video ranking ever. Like once the rosters are fully finalized, let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Like it'll be just rapid fire. I will not be breaking it down. It won't be it would have to be an hour-long video if I spend as much time as I usually do. But yeah, respect for Joel Eriksson-Ek, who's not having a dominant season. Well, he's never been like dominant, but not as good as prior years. But I still think that's ridiculous to have him below guys like Nyquist, Teravainen, or even Crystal Tang, Elias Lindholm especially. Yeah, Raquel might be like that might be the most egregious. No, Dahlin probably is. But Raquel, like Valimaki, is he even cracking the he is cracking the everyday roster at Utah, but he's like a third pairing guy. His underlying numbers have been really good. But what? Yeah, let me know in the comments. ESPN cooked it up. I'll be seeing the next one, and you'll be seeing my top 92 once Pietrangelo gets replaced, and if there's any other replacements that have to be made. Crosby might honestly miss the tournament at this point. We're not so sure. I'll be seeing the next one. Peace.